You know those days when everything feels muted? When you are moving but nothing quite moves you? If you know what I'm talking about, this page is for you. We are not trying to lift the mood today, we are learning to sit beside it, just long enough to see what it is trying to say. I'm Garjana, a psychotherapist and crafter, and I have learned that the moments we most want to avoid often need the gentlest kind of company. So, let's make that space together. This morning I woke up feeling flat. Nothing dramatic, just tired, without focus. All the edges are blurred, like this tea-stained paper here. I can find it tempting to scroll it away or tidy it up, but I thought, what if we gave it a page instead? When I work with clients who hover at the edge of depression, the hardest part isn't the sadness by itself. It's the fear of the sadness, that instinct to run away. It is really protective, but it also keeps us stuck. So here, with a cup of tea, some paper, my glue stick, I'm doing something quietly radical, allowing the feeling to stay. I choose materials that mirror it, like the dried stained tea bag here, neutral tones, bits here that feel familiar in my little bowl up there, maybe slightly worn stuff. For me, there's comfort in this congruency, like the page and I, we speak the same language. We both feel a little bit blah today. And I don't think this is self-pity. I believe it's rather self-permission. I'm saying, blah day it is then. You also have a right to be here. You don't have to be fixed to be welcome. So I'm spelling it out. Blah day. I'm using these letters here. I had them for ages in my stash, and today is the day to use them. So what I need right now isn't motivation, it's acceptance. Feeling flat can be frightening because it brushes up against hopelessness. And our first impulse can be to push it away. That's understandable. Our bodies often equate emotional heaviness with danger. But maybe, just for this page today, we don't have to escape. Maybe we can offer it a seat here at the table. And I can swirl around with the brown, duller tone here, like giving it this muted feeling. And even using the other half of the tea bag to decorate the bottom of this page, just to match it to my feeling in the top of the page. I sometimes tell my clients, imagine your mood as a guest who arrives uninvited, but maybe this feeling is carrying information for you. If we slam the door, we might miss the message. If we open the door a little bit, we can listen if the feeling has something to say to us. This is not always the case, but in my experience, more often than not. And so that's what this spread is, a listening space. I am spreading this tea bag here and really allowing my fingers to really get in contact with the material and really taking my time, allowing space to just sit in the space. I don't know where is it going. I don't have particular big feelings around it. It's just organically unfolding, and I am allowing it to go wherever it wants to go. When we name something, it's not labeling ourselves. It's more like witnessing what is true. And I am naming it blah day, and often naming what is actually regulating our nervous system. And when we name something, it is because it becomes part of our story rather than like an endless fog of I don't know. And so when we see what happens when we allow these feelings to stay, not forever, just long enough to lose its sharpness, often that's when curiosity returns. And I think I like that piece here, this little orange butterfly. I think that stands for the returning curiosity for me. Yes, I think I really would like this to go here. And even though I am curious, this is usually the hardest part for me, the sitting still part. There's a tug of war happening inside me. One part of me wants to stay here and make this page, and another part is already thinking about reorganizing my paper drawer, checking messages, and watching a craft video on YouTube, because there are so many talented creators out there. Anything that feels like motion. It's sneaky, that part. It dresses up as productivity or sometimes even as self-care. You deserve a break. It says you don't have to feel this. And that's true. I don't have to. But maybe I get to. Maybe today I get to stay long enough to see what's underneath the blah. Avoidance often feels like a relief in the moment, but I know from both sides of the therapy room that it comes at a cost. It keeps the feeling suspended, like unresolved, like holding your breath without even realizing it. So instead of running, I take one slow inhale, then exhale through the discomfort. That's what I've learned about emotions. They are waves, not walls. They rise, they crest, and if you don't resist, they naturally roll through. But the moment we say, I shouldn't feel this, we freeze the wave mid-air. So, I'm here, practicing what I teach, letting it pass through. And as my hands hover over the scraps, I notice the small things. The way the glue sticks on my fingers, how it smells like faintly of kindergarten memories. The soft edges of the letters here and the rhythm of my breathing syncing with my crafting. This is what mindfully actually I can't speak. This is what mindfully actually looks like. Not serene meditation on a mountaintop, but being fully present while your fingers are sticky and your table's a mess. And the funny thing is, presence doesn't always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it's prickly and restless and uncomfortable. But if you can stay with that just a few minutes longer than usual, something subtly shifts. And I often tell my clients, you don't have to like a feeling to allow it. Allowing just means you stop fighting it. That's all. So as I glue one piece then another, I remind myself that creative rhythm is its own kind of therapy. I don't have to solve the blah. I just have to meet it with curiosity. Each breath that meets this dull ache instead of avoiding it is already movement. Not the busy external kind, but the kind that loosens something inside. Maybe this is what courage looks like. Not running, not pushing, just staying. There's always a quiet turning point in every page, that moment when you stop trying to make it work and start simply being with it. Suddenly, I have the idea I would like to have a round window through to the next side. I try my large hole punch, but decided to rather trace it with a candle holder. I grab a pencil, a really shiny one with sparkles, and it reminds me of a dear friend of mine from Germany. She gave me 2 of them as a gift a few years ago, and I really love them. I carefully draw around the smooth rim here. I don't really know right now what the circle is about, but it just feels right, and so I go with it. It feels both deliberate and spontaneous, like a decision made halfway through a thought, like not fully conscious yet. Like cutting out this circle, I think because this is a traveler's notebook style journal, the page isn't sewn in. It's just tucked under an elastic band, so I can slide it out gently, and it's a small thing, but I really, really love this. I love the freedom that I can just take out this page, turn it around and work on it separately. It makes life so much easier. I'm using here these tiny scissors. They have this little curved top. I think it's for fingernails or maybe something like that, but I use it for my fussy cutting, and I really, really like it. Holding this loose page in my hand, it suddenly feels less precious, like more like play. And cutting it here out, I realize how familiar this movement feels to me. There's something so meditative about following a line with small scissors, trusting your hands to guide you when your mind feels foggy. And I go around with my Distress Oxide ink, another thing that feels really familiar and grounding to me. I love how it grunges up this hole and defines it at the same time. So I gently slide it back in. With all of my pages, I'm not aiming for perfect. Like these imperfect edges and these imperfect pages feel more like me today, definitely. A little wobbly, but still whole. I glue the word blah across the top. I had glued down day near the bottom, acknowledging the mood out loud, naming it instead of hiding it. Somehow, the letters make it less heavy. It's like the page is saying it for me. Yes, this is a blah day, and it's allowed. There's a steadiness in that. It's not cheerfulness. It's just the kind of ease that comes when you stop fighting what's true. And then through the opening, I stamp the word maybe. It's such a tiny word, but it carries so much breath in it, doesn't it? Maybe it's not a promise, it's an opening, a soft not yet. I'm using my archival ink here to carefully dab it on my stamp. And while I'm pressing it down, while I'm stamping it, I think of all the times in therapy when a client says, I don't think I will ever feel better. And we find ourselves sitting quietly together until one of us says, maybe not today, but maybe someday. That maybe is often where the healing begins, not in certainty, but in possibility. Now this darker piece with the orange butterfly, that wasn't planned either. I had forgotten it was tucked into the October kit, but it called out softly from the pile. I find butterflies are a bit overused in the world of metaphors, but when you look at them closely, they are anything but delicate. They are survivors. They transform quietly, awkwardly in the dark and still find their way out. So this butterfly becomes my little light on this pocket, a small container for hope that doesn't ask too much of me. I don't have the energy for big affirmations today, but I can make a pocket. And into it, I tuck 3 tiny pieces of paper. My quiet invitation to myself. Do one thing, move a little, and reach out. I've leaned on these for years, both in my own life and in the therapy room. When energy is low, these are the first 3 things I reach for to pull myself gently back towards connection. Because when we are down, the world shrinks. Movement, even when small, stretches it again. A single kind text, a slow walk, a moment of making. None of them are big enough to push away the blah days, but together they remind the body that life still moves. That's what healing actually is, the remembering. And then there's this circle, cut by hand, perfectly imperfect, and underneath it the word maybe. That word makes me smile. It's so humble, so non-committal, and yet so full of life. Maybe doesn't promise anything. It just opens a door. Maybe tomorrow feels lighter. Maybe this page is enough for now. Maybe I'm okay, even without feeling okay. I think that's the kind of hope we can actually trust. The kind that doesn't demand certainty. The butterfly, the word maybe, the little pocket of tiny actions, they are all small reminders that even when we feel stuck, life keeps quietly unfolding in the background. We just have to make enough room to notice. Well, that's it for today. My little blah day page. It's not perfect, but honestly, I don't think that's the point. It's proof that even on the flattest days, we can still show up. A little glue, a little courage, and a whole lot of grace. If you're feeling a bit low too, maybe make your own small page and let it hold the feeling for you. You don't have to cheer yourself up. Just give your mood a safe place to land. If this video gave you a bit of calm or company, you can always subscribe and join me again next week. We will keep crafting through the real stuff. One page, one feeling, one day at a time. Until then, be gentle with yourself and remember, even the quiet days are part of your story. And maybe tomorrow is a little bit better.